Eubank did at the weekend has kind of added significance on this fight. There's loads of people here, you know, there's a lot of talk about what's Saturday night. Do you think there's a danger, or not a danger from your point of view, but do you think George might be looking past Jamie a bit?
Not really. I think he's too long in the tooth for that. You know, I think Shane will make sure that doesn't happen as well. This tournament's quite unique in that you know what your purses are for that fight anyway. Do you know what I mean? So it's not like, oh, this could open a massive fight with Chris Eubank, because your money's the same as it is against Eubank, it might be as it is against Cox.
Or Yildirim.
So you're not on the verge of this massive pay-per-view payday. You're just gonna, you know what you're getting. So it doesn't, you know, if it's Eubank, it's Eubank. If it's got, he may prefer it. You know, he might have preferred it to be Yildirim because the potentially easier fight and same money. So I think George is smart enough to know this is a threat. He obviously picked Jamie because he feels like he is small and he's unproven. So I don't think they'll be overlooking Jamie, but obviously a lot of people are thinking Groves against Eubank, but it's a chance for Jamie to upset those plans.
Just one point on that semi-final, potential semi-final, whoever it is. You're probably the promoter who's put on the most stadium fights in the world over the last 5 years or so. They're talking about maybe going outside in January, February.
I spoke to Keller about it. Listen.
Have you got a big enough coat?
Brits are nutty enough to go to anything, and it's a good fight, so I think they'd still go. The problem is the inclement weather. That's the problem. I still think it'll settle. I don't think people will go, oh, it's too cold, I'm not going. Brits are nuts. But the problem is if it's a snowstorm, or if it's snowing, or it's freezing, or it's raining, or so, you know. And January's because of the way the tournament's structured, January's a terrible month for that fight. Like really, it's a March, April, May, June fight, but it is what it is. It's got to go somewhere. And I think the only one that's available down south is Wembley Arena, which holds 9,000. So
not enough for Groves. Well, it's not enough for whatever it is. But while I've got you, ask you about your call, your show on Friday night. Massive opportunity for Reece Bellotti, and his 11th fight, Commonwealth title.
Reece Bellotti, he's going slightly under the radar, but he's 10 wins, 9 KOs. He's probably the hardest hitting featherweight, well, certainly domestically. And that probably include Frampton and Selby and all those boys in that. Jason Cunningham's, it's a real tough test for him because he's still learning, but he can really punch. He's very excited. He's got half of Watford coming down to York on Friday night. Be a great atmosphere. You've got Tasha Jonas on the card as well. You've got Charlie Edwards, Isaac Chamberlain. You've got Harlem Eubank as well, who I'm excited to see fight. Ted Cheeseman. And Adam Booth tells me a lot about Harlem Eubank. I'm excited to see him.
Yeah, what have you heard? Is he chip off the old block?
Adam phoned me up and said...
he's a nephew, isn't he?
Yeah, he's Simon Eubank's son.
Simon's son, yeah.
So Chris's nephew. But I trust Adam Booth. And he said, give this kid a try. I think he's from the same mould. So we'll see.
Charlie Edwards. After when Callier 5-1 in Birmingham, you said that could actually become.
That's the fight we're looking at. Yeah, that's the fight we're looking at. The only thing is with Cal
as a defence of the of his title.
He's so lucky, Cal, because the super flyweight division has become so lucrative, and HBO want him to go and box on the next super fly show. So his life is about to change dramatically. But he has a really tough fight, Cal, against Ishida on the Joshua card. Again, people sometimes, because they haven't heard of someone, they just presume it's an easy fight. It's because like 26-0 out of Japan, where a lot of the top fighters come from in that weight class. If he can win that, like I said, his life's about to change.
Just finally, before I let you go, the obligatory Anthony Joshua question. Not long now. How's he looking?
Good. He's having a good camp. We know what to expect from Pulev, and again, there's another fight where people just presume that he's going to bulldoze Pulev. But when you look at the landscape of the world heavyweight division, let's rank the guys. Anthony Joshua #1. #2 is Deontay Wilder. #3, for me, it's Pulev. I mean, that's what the Ring magazine says. And if he's not 3, he's 4 or 5. So he's a top 5 heavyweight, Pulev. And in my opinion, Pulev beats Joseph Parker. So, you know, I think this is a real fight, a real test, coming off the back of a Klitschko fight, where his sort of emotions, you know, still sky high. But he's been back to business, he's been back improving. Very impressive the way he goes about it in camp. He knows he made mistakes against Klitschko. he's working to rectify those, and you're going to see a ruthless Anthony Joshua on October 28th.
And I read that Ortiz might still be his mandatory with the BA.
I don't know. I can't see how, but I mean, look, I mean, I had an argument with Ortiz's manager the other day. You know, just because I said that Ortiz should be banned from the sport. He said no, it was blood pressure tablet. You know, I mean, I'll leave it to them, but we've got to just worry about ourselves, concentrate on our business, and deal with Pulev on October 28th because there's so much on the line.